welcome to this 20-minute full body Pilates routine. I'm super excited to move with you. Let's jump right into it. Begin in a tall seated position, reaching through the crown of your head. Then, initiating the movement from your tailbone, you're going to curve your low back. You should feel low abs kick on as you try to hold at your furthest point. Round forward and then stack back up to tall. Exhale to roll back. Then round forward and inhale to stack back up to tall. As you continue doing this, keep the back of your neck long. You can tuck your chin a little to help keep the even curve of your back as you do this. 3 more times. Exhale to roll back. We call this shape C-curve in Pilates. Inhale, round forward and sit tall. You'll notice my feet are pretty far away from my butt. I'm doing that because sometimes my hip flexors try to get on the action. You can play with the distance to find what's productive for you. One last one before we progress it. Let's make it your best one yet. Hands behind the head and come to your half roll back again. Moving just the rib cage, twist to the left, come back to center. Twist to the right, come back to center. You can round forward and reset each time or continue just twisting. Now let's add breath. Exhale to twist. Inhale to untwist. Exhale to twist again. Inhale to untwist. As you twist, think about anchoring the opposite sit bone down. So when you twist to the right, anchor the left sit bone down. When you twist to the left, you anchor the right sit bone down. Just 2 more sets. Exhale, twist. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist. Inhale, untwist. Last one. Exhale, twist. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist. Inhale, untwist. Now we add some leg. As you twist left, left leg lifts. As you twist right, right leg lifts. You can reset after each rep or carry on twisting. We'll do this for 5 more reps. The higher you lift your leg to tabletop or 90 degrees, the more challenging. If this feels like too much today, you can just do a baby lift and try to hover the foot a few inches off the ground. Continue anchoring the opposite sit bone as you twist. Go ahead and do 3 more sets at your own pace. We're going to come to lying on our back. You can join me in rolling down or however feels good. Do your half roll back and keep rolling back to the mat so that each vertebra touches the mat sequentially. Now we're moving on to arm arcs. Reach your arms to the ceiling to start. Our goal in this is to control our rib cage from being impacted by what our arms do. We're going to try and keep our lowest ribs anchored towards the mat as arms go overhead by using an exhale. You also want to keep a neutral spine. This means the low back has its natural curve. For my body, I can stick my hand under. My teacher always says to rock your pubic bone away, and that helps me a lot. Start with an exhale to anchor ribs and reach arms overhead. Inhale to bring them down by your sides. Exhale, arms overhead. Inhale, down by your side. While you do this, think about keeping your collarbone area broad. We want to keep the shoulders from bunching up into the ears or rounding forward. This is a really great foundational movement for many Pilates exercises that will help you get more results from movements like dead bug and bird dog. Go ahead and do 3 more sets at your own pace, exhaling arms overhead and inhaling them down by your sides. this last set, we're going to move on to some head curls. To start, tuck your chin so the back of your neck is long. Yes, for some, this might give you a double chin, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. As we do this, the goal is to keep the back of the neck long. Now, knit your hands behind your head. Try to tuck the chin and reach long through the back of your neck as you lift. Use an exhale to pick up the head. Just as we practiced in the exercise before, anchor the low ribs down on the exhale as you lift. It's easy for some to strain the neck doing this, myself included. A helpful tip is to actually reach your head back into your hands. I like to imagine the neck muscles doing about 25% of the work, while the upper abs do 75% to support the head lift. If this feels okay, you can challenge it by reaching your arms by your side, a common position for other more advanced Pilates exercises. One more time. Next is a roll-up. Legs go long, or you can keep them bent like we did in the half rollback practice. Arms go overhead, same as before, anchor the ribs down. Tuck the chin as arms go down towards your side. Exhale to peel up off the mat, one vertebra at a time. Keeping your spine curved, reach up and over your legs. This part is called spine stretch. Inhale to stack your spine back up to a tall seated position. Exhale, roll back down with as much control as you can. If this is your first time, it's totally normal to feel stuck at certain points on the way up or experience free fall on the way down. If you can hold at those certain points and take an extra breath to move through it, it can help over time. At this point, I've chosen to bend my knees so that I can put my hands behind my thighs to give a little more support on the way up and down. Feel free to try this option too if you need it. I've noticed that spinal mobility really helps this exercise. Because of a spinal injury I had last year, my flexibility is still a work in progress. My legs are also lifting off the mat, which ideally stay anchored down, but we're working on this all together. Just one more time. Exhale to roll up. Inhale to stack to tall. Next is saw. Legs go mat distance, arms reach out to the sides. If your hamstrings feel tight, go ahead and bend the knees a little. Exhale, twist left, right pinky comes to left pinky toe. Inhale, untwist and sit tall. Exhale, twist right, left pinky to right pinky toe. Inhale, untwist. As you continue doing this, try to remember the second exercise. The twist comes from just the rib cage, and you're anchoring down the opposite sit bone as you twist. Just one more time. Now we're moving on to can-can. Arms behind you and balance on your tailbone like this. Keeping your knees together, shift over to your left hip and then straighten and bend your bottom leg, then your top leg, then both legs. Come back to center. Shift over to the right, straighten and bend your bottom leg, then top, then both. As you continue doing this, try to keep lifted up and out of your shoulders, so don't sink or collapse into them. Think sternum reaching up and collarbones broad. You also want to try to keep the hip points level as you shift. The distance between your bottom rib and hip bone should be the same distance on both sides. Looking at your knees is helpful. Is one higher than the other? Three more sets. Shift to the left, bottom leg, top leg, then both legs. Back to center. Shift to the right, bottom leg, top leg, both legs. Just one more time. Let's come to laying on our side. You can join me in practicing another roll down if you'd like. Half roll back, tucking the tail under, roll down one vertebra at a time. Then roll to your side. Line yourself straight along the mat. Top leg bends and top hip reaches away from your ribs. You could also bend the knee like I am if hip mobility allows. With your bottom ankle flexed like mine, so toes are pointing to the wall in front of you, lift and lower, reaching through the heel. Do this for 10 more counts. Now point your toe and draw small circles in either direction for 12 counts. If you haven't already, switch directions. Next is a lifted clamshell. Bend your knees and lift your ankles. Keeping the heels together, open and close your knees 6 times. And exhale to open and inhale to close is the pattern I like. Now reach your top leg long and bring your toes in front of you. Exhale to reach your heel behind you, then point the toes to bring them in front. Exhale, heel back. Inhale, toes forward. If your muscles in your hip feel spicy, you can tap them out with your fist or the palm of your hand. Let's move over to the other side now. Top leg bends. Bottom ankle is flexed. Lift and lower 12 times. Now point the toe and draw 12 circles in one direction. Switch directions of the circle, 12 more left. Lifted clamshell now. Knees bent, feet up, heels together. Open and close 6 times. Now reach the top leg forward with pointed toe. Then exhale, the heel kicks back. Inhale, toe points forward. Exhale, heel kicks back. Repeat this 5 more times. Now let's roll over to our back. We're going to do a wide leg bridge first. Heels come to the edges of the mat, A little external rotation of the leg is good, so the heels are probably closer together than the toes, slightly. Rock to neutral spine, then exhale to imprint the low back into the mat and lift your hips up into the bridge. Inhale and roll back down one vertebra at a time. 5 more times. As you do this, remember that a Pilates bridge is different from a yoga bridge. We care less about height and more about using the glutes, hamstrings, and low abs to hold at the top. When you're at the top, you can inhale into your ribs before you roll down. Exhale to imprint the low back, roll up, hold. Inhale to roll back down. One more time. Now bring your feet hip distance apart and exhale to roll up to your bridge. Holding at the top, roll to the outer edge of your feet and then roll to the inner. Do this 7 more times. Now roll on down. You finished the routine. If you can stick around, I have 2 stretches for you. First is your basic figure 4 stretch. Before Pilates, I thought the deepest way to feel it was to bring my knee super close to me. Try instead keeping a neutral spine and reaching your pubic bone away from you. You can also flex your ankle like mine to protect your knee joint. Take nice deep breaths here. Switch sides when you feel ready. Next is a sort of windshield wiper stretch. Start with your knees bent and let them fall to either side. This should mobilize your hip joints and stretch your low back. If you'd like, you can join me for one more roll-up practice. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions or requests, I'd be so happy to hear from you. Hope you'll join me next time.